Good morning. Welcome to our BSG presentation. We are Team Fancy Footwear and we were within Industry 36. So for our agenda today, we're going to go through quite a few things, starting with our team and our roles, all the way to financial review, our performance, as well as our lessons learned to wrap it up. So to start with our roles, my name is Maddie Pritchett. I'm a senior from Graham, Washington, and majoring in business management. As the operations and supply chain director, I was responsible for making sure our company could effectively produce and deliver our products while also keeping our costs under control. So, specifically, I manage production decisions like how many units we were going to produce, where to allocate our manufacturing, and also how to balance capacity with demand. This way, we could avoid shortages as well as excess inventory. I also made sure to oversee our supply chain efficiency by monitoring factors like shipping, inventory levels, as well as supplier costs. This way, we ensured that we were operating as lean as possible. Another key part of my role was cost management, and I worked to help reduce production and distribution costs without sacrificing our quality. This helped us improve our overall margins and competitiveness in the market. Finally, I collaborated closely with our other departments, especially our finance and marketing, to align our production with demand forecasts as well as financial goals. This overall ensured our operations supported the company's strategy and performance within our simulation.
Hello, my name is Liam Clancy. I am from Nashville, Tennessee, majoring in MIS, and I was in charge of our financials. As the finance and performance director, my role was to monitor our company's financial performance and make sure our decisions were actually improving our results. I focused on key metrics like revenue, profit margins, earnings per share, and return on equity to evaluate how we were doing each round. I was also responsible for our budgeting and forecasting, which meant helping the team decide where to allocate resources, whether that was investing more in production, marketing, or facility upgrades. Overall, my goal was to make sure our strategy translated into strong financial performance by identifying what was working, what wasn't, and where we needed to adjust to stay competitive.
My name is Olivia Hine. I was the marketing and sales director. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm majoring in marketing and sales. As a marketing and sales director, I focused on how we showed up to customers and how we turned that into actual sales. I made decisions on pricing, advertising, spend, and appeal to make sure we stood out in a crowded market. A big part of my role was adjusting quickly. If demand dropped or competitors changed their approach, I adapted our strategy to keep our sales strong. I also made sure our brand stayed consistent while still being competitive. At the end of the day, my job was to connect our product to the customer in a way that drove demand and kept our revenue growing.
Hello, my name is Brett Wedgeworth. I'm from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and majoring in operations management. My role was the strategic and competitive analysis director. And as this director, I took a step back and focused on the bigger picture of where our company stood in our industry. Instead of just looking at our own decisions, I also analyzed what each of our competitors were doing every year to understand the overall landscape. I identified patterns in what other companies were doing and helped the team anticipate moves rather than just react to them. That allowed us to make more informed and forward-thinking decisions. My role was really about giving the team an overall direction, making sure we weren't just competing, but doing it in a smart and intentional way. Our original strategy, we really just took the first couple weeks to learn the game and see how different decisions such as taking out loans and buying back stock really affected our bottom line. Then, using what we learned, we would develop and implement our own strategy that would set us apart from the rest. As you can see, our key objectives in the first 3 years was really just systematic trial and error analysis, figuring out what worked and what didn't. Year 14 to 20 is when we implemented our overall strategy. We decided on a focused product line with a low model count at a high-end price point. And as you can see by the strategic group maps at the bottom, in year 13, all the companies were really packed together in the kind of middling model count to high model count. And in year 14 is when we made our implemented our decisions to set us apart from the pack. In order to implement this plan, we first, as I said, needed to drop our model count all the way down to 50. Most teams in our industry were around 250 to 500 model count. So by dropping ours all the way down to 50, we would really set ourselves different. The next way that we could implement this was increasing our superior materials percentage. For our industry, the average superior material percentage was around 45% for the entire duration. While ours, we increased our usage to around 55 to 60%. This would help improve our attractiveness and make our products make our products better. The final way was to invest heavily in TQM and Six Sigma quality production programs. By increasing our investment in Six Sigma programs across all production facilities would help greatly improve our SQ rating. This also would improve our attractiveness of our products and help drive demand.
All right, now moving on to what we did. On this slide, we're highlighting the key actions that drove our success. Our main focus was increasing our SQ rating, which directly improved the quality and attractiveness of our products compared to other competitors. We achieved this by increasing our use of superior materials and heavily investing in TQM and Six Sigma initiatives across all product facilities. As a result, we consistently had the highest SQ rating in the industry, averaging about 2 stars above competitors, which helped us stand out in a crowded market. This is shown by the price and SQ ratings graph, which are companies' performance on top and the industry average on the bottom. In addition, our strategy allowed us to accurately predict market demand, earning 6 Bullseye Awards, the most in the industry. These decisions ultimately led to strong performance, including finishing strong and first on the game-to-date scoreboard for 5 consecutive years, showing that our strategy was not only effective but also sustainable.
Yes, so reviewing our financial and strategic performance, we invested heavily in four key areas, such as a small product line, newer markets, employees, and brand awareness. With a limited product line, our firm can focus on quality over quantity, while also keeping a high demand with supplying a low number of models. We invested early into different markets, taking advantage of new customers and quickly building our brand recognition and loyalty. Taking care of our employees was also a top priority for us. We boosted their base wages every year by 2%, offered best practices and ethics training sessions frequently, and have improved working conditions yearly. Lastly, we invested in our brand awareness, making sure customers engage in our products. We did this by continuously getting celebrity endorsements, practicing good energy efficient initiatives, and focusing our marketing for wholesale. These four key factors helped us maximize our products and gain a huge demand across many regions. Moving on to measuring our financial performance throughout the years, our EPS and stock price increased every year. This was a result of our firm outperforming competitors and continuously gaining new customers every year. We tried our hardest to increase the quality of the products while producing a limited number of models. In result of this, our demand rose every year, and we quickly became the top firm within our industry. We also improved with spending and achieving positive cash flows. Our net revenues and credit rating went up every year. This is directly correlated to how well our firm was allocating our resources. We focused on minimizing costs and maximizing profits, which in result helped our revenues to steadily rise.
For our results impacted, this slide shows the direct impact of our strategy and execution. First, we were awarded bonus points for having the most accurate predictions, earning 6 Bullseye Awards, which reflects our strong understanding of market demand. Second, we achieved a major performance jump early on, earning an award for being the most productive in week 2, where we moved from tied to the 8th to top 4, setting the tone for the rest of the simulation. This awarded us with the Leapfrog Award to bring our total to 7 bonus points. Beyond that, our strategy resulted in the highest SQ rating in the industry, which drove stronger demand and allowed us to maintain a premium positioning. Lastly, we sustained top leadership on the leaderboard performance over multiple years, providing or proving that our differentiation strategy created a long-term competitive advantage rather than just short-term success.
So to move on, over the next 2 years, if we were to continue to compete, our strategy would focus on 4 key areas to outperform our competitors. That would be marketing, operations, private label growth, as well as financial management. So first, for the marketing section, we would shift away from our lower margin wholesale sales and focus more on our online channels where our margins are much higher. At the same time, we would increase our digital advertising and continue to invest in our celebrity endorsements. This would, strengthen our brand recognition as well as drive demand. Next, we would expand our production capacity. This would ensure that we meet rising demand and avoid stockouts, while also allowing us to capture more sales opportunities and improve our operational efficiency. Now, our third action would include placing a greater emphasis on our private label production. So doing so would give us more stable and contract-based revenue and help us maintain these consistent volumes across our facilities. Now, finally, from a financial standpoint, we would have to ensure that we are balancing our shareholder returns and reinvestments. We would plan to maintain dividends while also using stock repurchases strategically. This could improve our earnings per share as well as support our stock price. So together, these 4 initiatives would position us to increase profitability, grow market share, and deliver stronger overall performance in the coming years. Now, looking back at the lessons we learned in this BSG simulation, as a team, we identified several key lessons that shaped our strategy and well as our overall results. Our first lesson was on the importance of consistently focusing on shareholder value. By maintaining a steady stock repurchase program, we were able to strengthen our earnings, as well as able to build our investor confidence. So this reinforce the idea that long-term stock price as well as growth requires consistent as well as disciplined financial decisions. Now, we also learned that our global production strategy played a critical role. By investing in these lower tariff regions, like specifically Latin America, we were able to reduce costs significantly. At the same time, we were able to optimize production that helped us maximize our efficiency and better meet our market demand. Another key lesson was in the financial management. We use debt strategically to support our expansion, but we also made sure to balance risk by maintaining strong cash flow and the ability to meet repayment obligations. This showed us the importance of growth without overextending ourselves financially. Now, finally, we learned that marketing and brand strategy directly impact performance. Strategic use of our celebrity endorsements helped us strengthen our brand presence while also carefully managing the spending allowed to maximize our visibility. This made sure we didn't sacrifice our return on investment, which overall, all these lessons emphasize the importance of balancing growth, efficiency, and financial discipline to achieve strong and sustainable performance. That is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you enjoyed.